Your older child watches you hold the newborn, and in that moment, something shifts in their face. Within days, you're seeing aggression, regression, clinginess, behaviors you thought you'd left behind months ago. You assume it's jealousy, but here's what nobody tells you. Your child isn't being difficult. Their brain thinks you're about to abandon them. And if you respond as if they're just jealous, you're about to make it much worse. When we call what your older child is experiencing sibling jealousy, we get the problem wrong. Jealousy is wanting something someone else has, but your child doesn't want the baby. They're terrified that they've lost you. That distinction changes everything. Jealousy is a preference. Threat detection is a survival response. Here's what's actually happening. Your child's brain has been wired since birth to keep you close, not because they're clingy or needy, but because attachment to a caregiver is literally how human infants survive. When your attention is suddenly divided between two children, your older child's amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, registers it as a genuine loss of safety. This is not misbehavior. This is dysregulation. And the moment you understand that, your response shifts from, how do I manage this behavior, to, how do I rebuild my child's sense of safety? Your child's brain is organized around one central belief. When I need my caregiver, they come. When I'm distressed, they soothe me. This is secure attachment, and it's the foundation for everything else: emotional regulation, resilience, social development, and the ability to handle stress later in life. A new baby doesn't destroy that model, but it threatens it. Suddenly, sometimes you come, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're holding someone else. The unpredictability is the threat. Here's what makes this especially challenging. Your child's prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that reasons through emotions, is still years from maturity. It won't fully develop until their mid-20s, so they can't think their way through this. They can't tell themselves, Mom still loves me, she's just busy. They can only feel it. And what they feel is, I am less important now. I am being replaced. That's why the anxiety shows up as aggression toward the baby. Regression, like bedwetting or refusing to eat, or intense clinginess. These aren't character flaws. They're your child's nervous system screaming for predictability. Here's where most parenting advice goes sideways. Parents think their job is to convince the older child the baby is wonderful and there's enough love for everyone. But that's not what a dysregulated nervous system needs. What your child needs is proof, through your actions, not your words, that their place in your world hasn't changed. Not through grand gestures, through consistency, through predictability. Psychologist Daniel Siegel calls this serve and return. Your child serves. They reach for you, ask for attention, or have a meltdown. You return. You show up, stay present, and regulate your own nervous system so they can borrow yours. This back and forth is how secure attachment is rebuilt, and it's exactly what gets disrupted when a new baby arrives. The mindset shift is this. You're not trying to convince them the baby is great. You're showing them, through your presence, that they're still safe. That's the entire game. Most parents think one-on-one time means doing something special, taking them somewhere, planning an activity. But that's not what rebuilds safety. In fact, it can backfire because it feels like you're making up for something, which reinforces the idea that something is wrong. Instead, make it boring and predictable. 15 minutes a day where you're not thinking about the baby, checking your phone, or planning the next thing. Your nervous system is regulated. That's all they need to feel. Set a timer, make it the same time if possible. This is how you rebuild the working model. My caregiver is still here, still available, still regulated. I am still safe. Research on attachment-based parenting shows that children whose parents provide consistent, attuned presence recover from sibling transition anxiety 2 to 3 times faster than those who don't. This isn't extra credit, it's essential repair work. When you have to attend to the baby, here's what most parents do. They try to make the baby appealing. Look how cute the baby is. Isn't the baby so sweet? Do you want to help with the baby? This backfires. It reinforces the idea that the baby is taking your attention away. Instead, narrate the baby's needs. The baby needs to eat right now. I'm going to feed them. You can sit with us or play over there. I'll be back in 20 minutes, and then we'll do something together. This does 2 things. First, it removes the threat narrative. The baby isn't stealing you. The baby has needs, just like your older child. Second, it makes the shift in attention predictable. Your child knows exactly when you'll be available again. Predictability reduces amygdala activation. It literally calms the nervous system. Your older child's brain starts to learn, okay, mom is with the baby now, but she'll be back. This is not a permanent loss. Bedtime is where sibling transition anxiety often peaks. Your older child is tired, their prefrontal cortex is offline, and they're alone with their thoughts. This is when the "I've been replaced" narrative gets loudest. Make bedtime non-negotiable one-on-one time, even if it's only 10 minutes. No baby, no phone. Just you and them. Sing, read, talk, whatever your ritual is. This is where you rebuild the secure base. This is where your child's nervous system learns, I am still held. I am still safe. I am still yours. Calm, present caregiving at bedtime activates the parasympathetic nervous system, what neuroscientists call the vagal brake, which signals safety. It's not indulgent, it's neurobiology. When your older child has a meltdown about the baby, the instinct is to minimize it. You're going to love your sibling. It's not that bad. Stop crying. Instead, try this. I see you're really upset. This is hard. You miss having me all to yourself. That makes sense. I'm here. You're not agreeing that the baby is terrible. You're validating that this transition is genuinely difficult. And you're showing your child that their feelings don't make you leave. That's the antidote to the threat narrative. This is called emotional attunement, and it's the foundation of secure attachment. When a child feels seen and understood, their nervous system begins to regulate. Not because the problem is solved, but because they're no longer alone with it. Here's the part most parents get wrong. They think validation means agreement. It doesn't. Validation means, I understand why you feel this way. That's all. Your child needs to know their feelings are real and safe, not that they're correct. When to get professional support. The red flags. Most sibling transition anxiety resolves within 3 to 4 months with consistent, attuned parenting. But watch for red flags. If your child shows persistent aggression toward the baby that isn't improving, extreme regression like refusing to speak for weeks, or anxiety that's intensifying rather than improving after 2 months, talk to your pediatrician. Anxiety disorders in young children are treatable. Early intervention works. You're not failing if you need support. You're responding to your child's needs. The bottom line, you're building more than you know. Your older child's anxiety isn't a character flaw or a sign you've done something wrong. It's a signal that their nervous system needs you to rebuild the predictability they've lost. You don't need to convince them the baby is great. You need to show them, through your presence and consistency, that they are still safe, still held, still yours. This isn't just about getting through the transition. It's about building resilience, secure attachment, and the neural pathways they'll use to handle stress for the rest of their lives. That's what you're doing when you show up consistently, regulate your own nervous system, and validate their feelings. That's the entire game.